Namaste and welcome, beloveds. Okay, rain or hail or lack of internet connectivity ain't gonna change. The lights come. So it's really good to look at any ideas we might have if something could actually be happening here to God or anybody else. And yeah. And it reminds me of that time, and I've mentioned this, you can find this video of when Sahaja caught on fire, Monte Sahaja, where Muji lives in Portugal, and that's the ashram where he lives. It's really beautiful. It's in a high valley. So it's like a little valley, and then all the buildings are down the valley side, and it's a high desert, so that it's very dry, and there are brush fires that occur all over Portugal. You might have heard them on the news. It's sort of like California, actually. In fact, that they turned that place. It was basically a pile of blackberry brambles. It was like a valley full of blackberry brambles. I don't know how they did it. In 2013, there were like 9 of them went. But anyway, so like, was it last year? You know, time just moves. They had like little huts where they work, and it caught on fire. And it's just a whole flame. The whole thing goes up so quickly just because everything's like a tinderbox. You can't even leave like a plastic bottle with water in it. You cannot leave that outside. That's how intense the sun comes down and will actually turn a water bottle into a big fire. But anyway, I don't know how it started, but then you have the video of the fire. Someone was videoing while here's how they are. So they sound the alarm. They have these horns at the fire station. And if the horns go off, then you move to a certain location to near the mandir, which is up on the hill, and you move to the mandir. So this is the beings during the fire drill. This is how they're moving. All of them. Just kind of, you know, and that's how to look at everything. Like, what's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. No, you just kind of, okay. It does not impact who you are. And I think it was the next day or within a couple of days, if I'm remembering this correctly, Muji, everyone calls him Guruji. He goes down to the place. They were telling the stories about it, and he starts looking through the rubble to see what can be turned into art. Oh, he picks up a piece. Yeah, I think we can, you know, and they have they have video, the helicopters going on. The whole town got involved. You know, they're very beloved there. Yeah. This whole descent, I think they're probably almost as many, because only, I think, about 2,000 maybe or less. There are not that many people in the little nearby town, and they like all came together for this. And what a great reminder. We all come together, and then it's a fire, and you kind of, the only time to be moving fast is to accept the correction. You know, because Muji tells that story about, you know, getting in the elevator. That story so struck me. He said, if I were to, you know, tell you that you get the first one to leave the fire is the one who wakes up, man, they'd be clamoring for that elevator. But then I realized, and I've told this story before, and you take the elevator down, you know, whoever wakes up first, because we're all awake, but it's just to illustrate how much we like lollygagging. We're in the fire of denial, just kind of hanging up on the, you know, 10th or 12th floor, you know, and we like the play of the fire getting really hot and going, oh, I guess I have to jump out of this building and die. You know, we really like that play. But let's just say we're pretending we're going to go, I'm going to be the first on the elevator. That's what that's what we say. I'm going to be first on the elevator. And then when I started realizing, yeah, you know, it's like, okay, I see there's light. Well, that was quick. There's light. Then we get on the elevator and we're celebrating. I got this. to go to the first floor, celebrate all that God has given. But about the 8th floor, it's like, you know, the fire's really higher up and I don't have to worry about it on the 8th floor. I'm underneath it. So I'll just get off and wander around on this floor and just play in consciousness a little bit. You know, I can just play in consciousness. And then the fire starts getting close to that floor and we just watch it. This consciousness is going to watch how close that fire is going to get because it likes it. It loves to smell that smoke. You know, and then it's, oh my gosh, I'm in pain. Oh, I better go to Jesus. Jesus, help me. I'm on the, you know, there's a fire coming. That's what the relief is on the coronavirus, all the work that we've done to have a relationship with Jesus, first of all, to discover that the coronavirus bears no power over the Son of God. I mean, Jesus is practical. Like Lori came back from walking the dogs today. It's not like we like ignore everything. And she said, you know, I'm kind of feeling that, you know, she didn't want to get picked up. That would be a holy encounter by the local police and hauled off for taking the dogs for a walk. But it's practical to ask. And then we just kind of ask, what's the general, it's not like we disregard every rule, but we know we have the one to tell us, okay, Jesus, what's most helpful? And I can hear him now. He's going, it's just practical. Go over to Enrique local and say, okay, what's the deal here? You know, is there some kind of governmental edict that we stay indoors? So here's how the ego plays that. It relishes, here's a rule, now I got to break it. You know, like it wants to be caught. Like Irene was saying, I could see that play in there of like wanting to get caught. So it likes to play that. It likes to play cat and mouse. It relishes cat and mouse. Like you can see how consciousness, you know, reflects all the play with cats, you know, how they just love, they can't resist. If you get one of those little teasers with a feather on it and you just run it behind a chair where that cat can't see it, it's going to pounce on it. And that's exactly how the play of consciousness works. You start to see that. That's a great symbol. It's the shark is looking for an excuse to say, I am not the son of a God. And then it wants to chase it around. It's going to chase it around. And then it wants to turn and run and be chased. You know, you watch the dogs. Like when Silencio looks and he sees Shanti, they need to learn their names. No, they know their names, but they don't always act according to the names. So anyway, so Silencio, the little white dog, will actually start to hunt Shanti down. This is how the ego plays. He locks on it and he watches Shanti, and then he starts to, like a cat, you know, a cat, you see that a lot with cats, but you can watch it with dogs or wolves or whatever, and then they're just going to go and he's going to go tackle them so they can play. It's supposed to be just a play, but we have to see that we love the hunt. You know, that the consciousness loves the hunt for a problem and then it wants to tackle it and take it on. And it was supposed to be funny, not taken seriously. You can ask Jesus, Jesus, with all that supposed to be taken seriously? Do I like, you know, playing like a cat and chasing thoughts around and pretending like I got something to chase or that I'm being chased and that I'm going to find out? And then we can just hear him say, yes. You absolutely love it. Relish it. Cat and mouse. Jumping off the airport. I mean, jumping out of the elevator. I'm going to get out of this elevator. I'm going to see. Like Muji would say, when the train comes by of the mind, wrong-mindedness, stay on the platform. No, we have to have an ordeal. We're going to go buy a ticket to get on the wrong mindedness. We like buying. Just ask who buys the ticket to the train, because it seems like the train goes by so fast through the play. We're already on the train and we're powerless to get off. Oh, I can't get off because we have to see the play, like the desire to all of a sudden be on the Is that a desired experience, Jesus? He says, yes. Is it a desired experience to be on the train of the wrong mind? Yes, unequivocally. And pretend like, what happened on the train? So it makes it look like we're powerless, where it's too late, we're on the train of wrong-mindedness, and that we can't get off. We do not have the power to get off the wrong-mindedness train. Jesus, do I relish that play? Relish playing weak, like I can't just, that I, first of all, created the entire train. Like, do I like pretending like I didn't create the whole train? So all of a sudden I can wake up on the train and pretend like, what happened to me? I'm on the wrong, you know. Somebody put me on this train and made me go. Who did it? And then we can have, and it loves the who did it. Who got me on this train? And then we look around to find a brother who did it. You did it. You made me take the train of thought. So we just reel it back. Jesus is saying, wherever you are, it doesn't matter. Are you on the platform? Did you already get on the train? Did you suddenly wake up and go, holy smokes, I'm on a train somewhere? It doesn't matter. See, there's one problem, one solution. Jesus, what do I need to see right here, right now? And just then it's a fireside chat. It's not, oh my God, I made myself get on this train. I'm so bad. It's like, don't spend any time on that. Ask them, Jesus, do I need to spend any time if I find myself on the train again? No, that's a waste of time. The ego gives you a double whammy. You're bad. You got on that train again. You bad little sinner, you little hellion. And say, no, just see that you can invite Jesus over. He'll sit down on the train with you and say, get off the train. You have the power to get off the train. But and then we argue with them. But Jesus, then we start the argument. You're going to take the train away from me. You're going to I'm never going to get to ride on a train again, Jesus, because you're going to take the train away from me. That's what we're arguing with them for. To follow trains of thought around like a rat, dog following a rat. And if like if those dogs start digging a hole, it takes an act of Congress to get them to stop digging. And that's what we do with the wrong-minded, We're just so into digging ourselves into the hole of consciousness. That's the dive. That's just, I'm asking, it's just like that. It's like a dog, and it swears there is a bone underneath this hole it's digging. It's going to China. So consciousness makes the experience, and then it focuses on the bone rather than looking back to go, that's not even real. And then it's going to fight with everyone. No, I'm keeping this bone. It's going to fight to keep the bone. And that's how consciousness plays. It's going to fight to keep the play of denial, to go into that one little thing that it focuses on, and pretend like it doesn't have the power to say, oh, that's hilarious. That's not even true. It's beautiful in a joining yesterday. It's like, and you see the speed of correction when you truly join, when we're truly like, okay, show me Jesus. It's very fast. And then all of a sudden, it seemingly there was this huge kerfuffle, whatever was arising, whatever kind of energy is going like this, and whatever the ego comes in, it's going to label it. I just asked Jesus, so the ego will even label release depression. That's how confused we are. That's why we got to ask them. We do not know. We do not know what anything's for. We're labeling the release of the denial, bad. We have to ask them. But then you see, okay, here, how many times have we really, if we're really honest about looking at things the way Jesus looks at, how many times have we actually, something seemed to be really horribly happening, And then all of a sudden you forgive it. And then you go, I don't know what that was. Like Irene was saying, yes, I don't even know what that is. How many times have we done that? It's so great to be reminded. It's right. It disappears into the oblivion that it is. So Jesus, like Muji is saying, do not get on the train. It is a desire to experience weakness and pretend like that's face of innocence, to wake up on the train going, man, I'm just so far from home. We keep getting on the train. So he's bringing us back to remind us that even if we're sitting on if we find ourselves on the train of thought, of denial, heading toward denial, we can look down lesson 94 and use this thought of God wherever we are. It's a get out of jail free card right here. Lesson, I am as God created me. Right? It's an immediate correction when it's accepted. So he's giving us tools for immediate, I am as God created me. And you can ask him, Jesus, so does this thought of God have more power than any other thought I have? And hear that answer. It carries the power of God with it. Of course it does then. It points to divinity. It's, you know, because Muji would say, he didn't quite say it like this, but I'm asking Jesus if okay to talk about this way. He says, yes, it's like putting a stake in the ground at home base. I am as God created me, right here. And no longer jump off the platform. No longer jump to know. I am God as created. It's like Muji would say, claim your true position. I am as God created. The true position of light, infinite light of being. Start there. We start with infinite light of being in the light circle. And then we see, okay, where am I trying to pretend like I could leave? And we just keep checking in. I am as God created me. Today we continue with the one idea which brings complete salvation. Okay, Jesus, it feels really good today to get this lesson fully. Can you show me anywhere I don't want to get this lesson fully? And he says, yes, that's function, to show us, reveal. Remember, he promises, I cannot teach you love. The love's self-evident. It's what's already here. He can't teach it because we are it. We've already been toe tagged by God. You're love. You are as God created you, holy, whole, and complete. I can only reveal to you the blocks that seem, what seems to block the awareness. The question is, are we willing to then go to him and have him do the laser surgery on the blocks, the desires not to see what God has created? Okay, Jesus, so we want to get this lesson today fully. So will you show us all the blocks, all the denials that this lesson is true, the desire to play in consciousness and just have a little pretend game that we don't know that we're already as God created us. We're willing. I'm willing to see it. So we get on our little tricycles, innocence, like we've never seen this before. It's a whole new don't even know what a course lesson is. We start with light, infinite, doesn't know what a course lesson is. That's why he says, throw out the book, toss it out. Then we have an argument about what he means about tossing it out. We start with what has no argument with anything, infinite light of being. That feels light. Thank you, Jesus, for the reminder. Okay. Today, we continue with the one idea which brings complete salvation, the one statement which makes all form of temptation powerless. He doesn't say 3 or 4 forms or different Sundays or holidays. He's always very absolute. All forms of temptation powerless. Just ask him, Jesus, do I relish temptation? And powerlessness over seeing that I'm as God created me. If he says, yes, celebrate, then we see that hidden denial. Then we're right in the honesty of God pocket right there. And Jesus, even if there are temptations, does it change? Am I willing to see that I'm as God created me? The one thought that which renders the ego silent and entirely undone. I mean, when he gives these thoughts, he's not kidding, is he? The one thought. So all of consciousness is a doubt thought about, is a function to doubt this one sentence, I am as God created me. Okay. I said, Jesus, is it helpful to consider all other thoughts than that one unreal? He said, yes. You are as God created you. The sounds of this world are still. The sights of this world disappear, and all the thoughts that this world ever held are wiped away forever by this one idea. Okay, Jesus, do I have a desire below my level of awareness to forget this idea? Will you show that to me? Can I ask for a miracle on wanting to forget this idea, I am as God created me? To relish forgetting I am as God created me? Can you show me? Can I release that to a miracle? Can you help me release it to a miracle? Here's salvation accomplished. Here's sanity restored. Okay. Will you show me where I don't want sanity restored? Any other thoughts, Jesus, you want to show me about this lesson? I am as God created me. Any desire to doubt it? He just asked for miracles on doubt around this lesson. He says, yes. True light is strength, and strength is sinlessness. If you remain as God created you, you must be strong, and light must be in you. Is light in me, Jesus? He says the light's all the power given by God. It's the only power given by God. He doesn't give any other power than light. You don't need any other. He says you like the power of small fiefdoms, the impossibilities. He who ensured your sinlessness must be the guarantee in you. He who ensured your sinlessness must be the guarantee of strength and light as well. Yours God created you. Darkness cannot observe the glory of the Son of God. See, the ego wants to look upon light. No, the ego is made to fear light. Jesus, do I relish obscuring the glory of God's Son by darkness, using darkness? Below, is there anything of that below my level of awareness? And if he says yes, will you show me how to release that to a miracle? You stand in light, strong in the sinlessness in which you were created and in which you will remain throughout eternity. Ask the light, is the light eternity? I'm asking if I talk about how the ego looks at the light and goes, boring. Would you talk about that too? And I was asking Jesus, that's helpful to talk about. He says, yes. The ego has to make the light boring to perpetuate itself. Is the light boring? Just notice the light. Know what boredom is? It's just happiness. The ego's thinking, well, if the world goes away, what am I going to do with myself? You see, there's no doing, there's just being. To give ourselves a job of a world. Today, we will again devote the first 5 minutes of each waking hour to the attempt to feel the truth in you. That feels good to do now. How about if we just drop all thoughts, feelings, emotions, and just cuddle up to infinite? Just notice infinite. Just notice infinite in everything. The birds singing, infinite love in that. Feel the coolness. Those little teeny tiny itty bitty breeze. You can ask Jesus, is God in that? God is in everything I feel and see. Is it in everything, Jesus? Five minutes of each waking hour to attempt to feel the truth in you. So it's 24 hours or 8. Let's just say we're awake for 12 hours. 12 times 5. Less than 10% of our waking hours devoted to what we are. That's all the ego mind can take at first. It'll start going off the rails. Begin these times by searching with these words. I am as God created me. It's like having the opening to just show the perfection, divine perfection, and have it directly experienced. I am his son eternally. This is the only way we can rest in peace. Now try to reach the Son of God in you. Just have a sense of infinite. And the relaxation and the love that comes just by resting is infinite. Nothing to do, just to be what is. This is the self that never sinned nor made an image to replace reality. Notice what's without borders, doesn't change, doesn't know what time is. Does infinite light know time? Does it know what space is? This is the self that never sinned, that never left its home in God to walk the world uncertainly. Jesus, in honesty of God, in the light of divine being, did I ever leave home? Is it possible for me to leave God? Do I have a choice to leave God? He says, all choice is in dreaming. The seeming to choose not to follow. To preserve the sense that we can be autonomous from God. This is the self that knows no fear. Let's do a light check. Does the light know fear? Does it know what that is? Jesus, is the light me? I'm light. Do I not want to see that I'm light? Can you show me how I don't want to see it? This is the self that knows no fear, nor could conceive of losses, suffering, or death. Nothing is required of you to reach this goal except to lay all idols and self-images aside. Go past the list of attributes, both good and bad, you have ascribed to yourself, and wait in silent expectancy. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. I said, Jesus, that's powerful. He said, yes, expect it. Expect to be shown. Expect to be shown all the love the Father has for you. I just asked Jesus because he says it somewhere. Remember reading, you will demand it. I said, can we demand to be shown? Yes. It is at our command that we're shown or not. He says, yes. Wow. It's our command to be shown what we are. Because we've been commanding not to see it. See how we've been using misuse of command. Not to be shown, not to see what we are. This is the self knows no fear. Light tests. Is there fear in light? Can the light conceive of loss or suffering or death? Nothing is required of you to reach this goal except to lay all idols and self-images aside. Go past the list of attributes, both good and bad, you have ascribed to yourself, and wait in silent expectancy for the truth. God has himself promised that it will be revealed to all who ask for it. You are asking now, you cannot fail because he cannot fail. Can God fail, Jesus? Do I have a belief that he can? That he will fail me? Do I have a desire for experience where God fails me on a regular basis? I need to ask for a miracle on that. If you do not meet the requirement of practicing for the first 5 minutes every hour, at least remind yourself hourly, I am as God created me. I am his son eternally. Tell yourself frequently today that you are as God created you, and be sure to respond to anyone who seems to irritate you with these words. You are as God created you. You are his son eternally. This is extension. It's extending the truth. Stepping outside of ourselves. Make every effort to do the hourly exercises today. Each one you do will be a giant stride toward your release and a milestone in learning the thought system which this course sets forth. Feels helpful just to sit and contemplate being as God created us. This is the spaciousness for revelatory experience. Jesus, can we call upon you? He said that he collaborates with the Holy Spirit. He says yes for revelation. Can I ask for revelation now? I am as God created me. Then it becomes really simple. He says yes. I said Jesus is the perfect defense. He says yes. Defense of truth doesn't, so truth is self-evident, but for a time, because we're so wound into it, the idea of the no, the wanting and relishing of the no. This is like the chaff, like here comes the torpedoes coming, and then they send out this little sprinkle of flashes of all kinds of little pieces to deflect the heat-seeking torpedo. That's what this says. It cannot penetrate this. Those thoughts can't penetrate this. Amen. Nothing is required of you to reach this goal except to lay all idols and self-images aside. Go past the list of attributes, both good and bad, you have ascribed yourself, and wait in silent expectancy. Let me just talk to him about expectancy, how that's helpful. Expect to see the truth. He's just completely flipping consciousness, which expects to see problems. He turns it. Expect to see the truth. And he's reminding me again, and you will demand the truth. You demand it because it's within your power to do so. He says, yes, it's within our power completely to demand the truth. We're like tentative. We like to toja dip the truth. The power that we have to see the truth is here immediately, that the light's here. Okay, Jesus. Thank you for the reminder. So we'll ask Lori if she'll come up today and play. She says yes. So let's no, I think do you want just why don't we just set it here like we did yesterday?
I was trying to say that I sent the lyrics to Mary.
Oh, that's beautiful. So she sent the lyrics to Mary.
Spanish and English.
And yeah, Renee, we'll just start setting up right here so that it'd be easy for her to play. So you might need to help Renee. She hasn't seen the setup. She just got back. She took a trip. Renee had to go to the border, and she just took a miraculous trip on a plane, flew to Tijuana, went into the airport, holy encounters, got back on the plane, flew back here yesterday. So she hasn't seen
God
it.
the whole time.
What?
I said, in God the whole time.
Yeah, in God the whole time. Yeah, there we go. This one? Yep. In a glow of light.
Okay. Good morning, lovely light. This is called Be of Good Cheer, Love Kisses. So much love, so much love, so much love. The dolphins are free. So much cheer, love kisses, love kisses, love kisses, love kisses, love kisses. Let the bird land in your heart. Be of good cheer. Just that new part at the end just came in. Thanks for singing.
Yeah, we're so glad to have you. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for coming. All the way, all the way. To free happiness.